At 62, that Graham Norton finally revealed the names of the 6 guests he really couldn't stand. During a long career, he has hosted countless unforgettable interviews, hilarious moments, and warm, relaxed conversations. The experience, however, has not always been pleasant with every celebrity. But before those names are revealed, his life and rise to fame speak of building charm, humor, and vulnerability into a powerful career. Graham Norton was born Graham William Walker on April 4, 1963, in the small seaside town of Clondalkin, before his family eventually settled in Bandon, County Cork. His childhood was far from the bright lights of television. He grew up as a witty, observant, and sensitive boy who found comfort in humor and storytelling. Ireland in those years was still quite traditional, but his intelligence and comedic instinct pushed him toward performance, long before he understood what that might become. He attended University College Cork for a time, yet his heart drifted toward theater, leading him to the Central School of Speech and Drama in London. There, he began shaping the bold, flamboyant, and warm persona that would later make him famous. Like most great entertainers, Norton's career didn't exactly take flight from the beginning. He worked his way through London's comedy clubs, building an instantly recognizable style. Clever, camp, joyfully irreverent. Early appearances on the BBC, particularly his breakout moment on Father Ted, put him on the industry's radar. Then came the Channel 4 shows, So Graham Norton and V. Graham Norton, which launched him to stardom. His interviews were unlike the stilted, polished talk shows people were accustomed to. Norton turned the format into a party where guests laughed, loosened up, and sometimes told stories they probably didn't mean to. His humor balanced sauciness with kindness, outrageousness with warmth. Viewers tuned in for the celebrities but stayed for him. When The Graham Norton Show finally hit the BBC in 2007, he was already the most unpredictably delightful interviewer on television. The red sofa soon became a cultural landmark, where Hollywood stars, musicians, and rising talents sat all together in a relaxed, lively atmosphere. Norton's great gift was drawing personality out even from the most quiet guests, knowing just when to tease but not offend, and spinning awkwardness into comedy. Many say nobody has mastered spontaneous charm the way he has. And his talents weren't limited to talk shows. He grew into the most beloved commentator that the UK had for the Eurovision Song Contest, following in the footsteps of Terry Wogan, with his own brand of lovely sarcasm. He became a popular radio host, novelist, and judge on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. His novels were unexpectedly emotional and grounded, showing the deeper, more thoughtful side casual fans might not have expected. On October 2, 2010, Norton took over BBC Radio 2's Saturday morning show from Jonathan Ross. From the very first broadcast, he brought humor, quick wit, and energy to the weekend slot. Maria McErlane then joined him as the show's agony aunt in the very popular Grill Graham section, where listeners sent in their dilemmas and heard Norton's hilarious yet intuitive replies. The show was also made to include interactive features, such as In Tune with a Tale and I Can't Believe It's Not Better, adding fun, nostalgia, and imagination to Saturday mornings. Unique music jingles, including specially commissioned ones by the BBC Radio 2 Orchestra, gave it a theatrical, memorable identity all its own. Apart from what he has accomplished, Norton is a cultural icon whose impact goes way beyond entertainment. For LGBTQ+ viewers who grew up without visibility, he became a beacon of confidence and humor. He has spoken openly about fears, relationships, fame, and vulnerability, deepening the connection he shares with his audience. His laughter, his timing, his kindness, these have made him not just a star, but a comforting presence for millions. On a personal level, Norton reported marrying John O'Mloud in 2022. Their private relationship was filled with warmth, respect, and quiet strength. Though Norton lives in the public eye, their partnership reflects a quieter, anchoring side of his world. Their wedding, celebrated among close friends and family, marked a new chapter of companionship built on love, privacy, and shared values. After decades of interviews and countless celebrity encounters, Norton finally felt comfortable admitting that not every guest was easy to handle. At 62, he named 6 guests he truly could not stand. These were the ones whose behavior, attitude, or sheer chaos turned their appearances into memorable challenges. In a career built on patience, humor, and unshakable charm, these 6 stood out as the rare exceptions who tested even Graham Norton's legendary hospitality. Number 1. Mark Wahlberg. The first and most infamous name on Norton's list is Mark Wahlberg. Norton described the experience of Wahlberg's 2013 appearance as pure chaos, calling it hell. He explained that when Wahlberg first showed up, he didn't seem drunk, but about 15 minutes into the show, something clearly hit him. Everything fell apart from there. Wahlberg started interrupting other guests, hijacking conversations, and making it almost impossible for anyone to finish a story. At one point, Norton turned and saw Wahlberg asleep on the couch while Michael Fassbender was talking. Norton later clarified, "We don't encourage that, which means the show doesn't get guests drunk." Wahlberg simply showed up in a condition that derailed the entire episode. Number 2. Mickey Rourke. Another testing guest Norton remembers is Mickey Rourke. According to Norton, Rourke came with half a bottle of Jack Daniels and spent the taping chain-smoking. "I'd turn away for a second, and he'd have lit another cigarette. It was so boring. You feel like a teacher taking children on a school trip, not a chat show host." The constant smoking, with his lack of enthusiasm or engagement and being distracted in the interview, was exhausting and far from the lively, spirited energy the show uses. Number 3. Kevin Costner. Poor Kevin Costner, another A-list star who didn't exactly get on Norton's wavelength. He was standoffish and seemed to act like talking was a chore. Norton even went as far as to say that he would ask him a question, and he looked like, "Do I really have to talk to this man?" According to Norton, Costner responded with half-hearted answers, seeming to prefer silence. But suddenly, when Helen Mirren chimed in, he perked up, apparently simply not interested in connecting with Norton himself. His reluctance to join in the warm, playful atmosphere of the show made for a rather formal, strained interview. Number 4. Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, one of Hollywood's most respected actors, also made Norton's list. Norton described him as a benign presence, meaning De Niro wasn't rude, just difficult to interview. He rarely told stories and often seemed unsure why he was there. Norton recalled an event at the Cheltenham Literature Festival where De Niro began telling a story, but stopped and asked, "Why am I telling this?" Nobody knew, and it completely fell flat. For Norton, this reticence in De Niro made the interview lifeless, as though he was appearing out of obligation rather than interest. Number 5. Harvey Weinstein. Probably the most unsettling name on the list is Harvey Weinstein. Norton has stated that Weinstein is his least favorite guest ever, not only because their interaction was awkward, but also because Weinstein wouldn't stop insisting on being on the show after being turned down. Weinstein continually sent emails to Norton, which were described by him as strange and obsessive, and in hindsight, deeply troubling. "It was sort of chilling in retrospect," he said. Such persistence showed a darker, predatory side, which Norton fully realized only later, when Weinstein's crimes had already come to light. Number 6. Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah features on the list for completely different reasons. Norton explained she wasn't being rude or diva-like. She was just scared. Hannah had an openly acknowledged fear of chat shows, and Norton had been warned she might faint. During the interview, her terror was palpable, and that episode suffered because of just how nervous she was. Norton admitted it wasn't a great show. Still, after the fact, Hannah was over the moon, proud she had made it through. To be sure, Norton admitted he was genuinely happy for her. Acknowledging her difficulty came from fear, not from bad behavior. Norton also talks more broadly about how some guests unintentionally kill the energy in the room. Once he told SiriusXM that some people bring a cloud of defensiveness or gloom with them where everything feels dragged down. To counteract that, he sometimes books a comedian alongside tougher guests to keep the energy lifted. In naming these 6, Mark Wahlberg, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro, Harvey Weinstein, and Daryl Hannah, Norton wasn't simply complaining. He was offering a rare glimpse behind the curtains of chat show hosting, where not every celebrity is charming and not every story lands. As he put it, there are guests he doesn't personally like, but that doesn't automatically make them bad on the sofa. For these 6, however, he makes an exception. His stories are saturated in memory, exasperation, and just a hint of relief that he no longer has to pretend those encounters never happened.